through your body. Alright, so the next clip I'm going to go into is a pretty big topic. This is that same person you heard earlier, Jesse, discussing the actual experience, and then when he receives a alien implant. Okay, and subject is fascinating to me. I've researched it pretty deeply, and I haven't really heard a really good explanation for it. To just totally discount it. I mean, I think there is something to it.
I remember being taken into the craft, taken into one room. I was placed on a very cold, flat table. My brother was separated and he was taken into another room. They were doing something down to my legs. I could feel them poking and prodding around my legs.
According to Jesse, his abductors inserted a small item, an alien implant, into his left shin.
And it was in my body for 34 years.
Could you feel it inside you? What did it feel like?
It was always painful. I always had to wear my socks below the incision point because it was painful.
Alright, so there he goes, discussing the implant. I'll go a little bit further into the video and show you how they actually remove the implant and end up getting it tested. Okay, and this whole alien implant thing is just really rattles my mind, because as you'll see, when they get these tested in laboratories, the results can be stunning. So I just have so many different thoughts on it. It just seems like actual physical evidence of extraterrestrials, but then I also know, we also have things like Project Bluebeam, where the New World Order could possibly, you fake an alien invasion of some sort, or it's just, you never know. I mean, like I've mentioned before, these people are master manipulators. So this evidence, it could just be trying, it's almost like sometimes this evidence of UFOs, alien abduction, things come out, almost seems like it's just totally prepping the public for something huge. And hey, listen guys, I'm just this is a Black Helicopter Radio, and I ultimately just want to figure these things out. So I'm just kind of brainstorming here, and I mean, if you guys that are listening, please feel free to send me an email, darkecstasyworld at yahoo.com. That's darkecstasyworld at yahoo.com. I mean, I want this to be a friendly debate amongst people. So, I mean, because I really want not only myself, but I want you, the audience, to just really get a firm grasp on these subjects that are spoken of so much, but sometimes people will just breeze by them, and I want this show to be about deep analysis. So he has this object inside of him, and then like I said, I'll go further into the clip and where they talked about getting it tested and such.
In 1991, Jesse had the foreign object removed from his leg.
There it is. It's a good half-inch long.
This is the object that was in my leg. And unfortunately, during the initial test that was done on it, it was broken into two pieces. But that allowed us to look at the inside.
Some have dismissed the object as simply a shard of glass. But when it was analyzed at Southwest Research Institute, a materials analysis facility in Texas, the conclusions suggested a greater mystery. According to the lab's report, the object revealed a very remarkable composition and exhibited unique surface characteristics that cannot be explained, and that the questions outnumber the answers.
When the object was removed, I was convinced that whatever this object was had something to do with all of my abductions.
Alright, so that clip doesn't go too far into what the actual object was, but it's still interesting, the fact that the lab was, wasn't too sure. It was saying it's very peculiar. But I do have clips of another guy who took it further, and you'll see what they said was pretty amazing. I mean, this is, I'm surprised that this wasn't a bigger deal when it came out. I mean, I know it was on TV somewhat, but people just kind of brushed it off. It's almost like if it's true, I mean, hey, I'm still, trust me, I'm looking at this from all angles. I'm not, this is just trying to figure this out. If this is true, what this next guy says, Dr. Lear, I believe you pronounce his name. I mean, this is some major information, and I don't know why it just seems to be brushed off. I really looked online just trying to find people to debunk what he says, and okay, what some people say is that yes, a lot of the things that are found in people are end up being just benign objects, but they never address what you'll see, what the actual what the labs actually say about some of these objects that aren't just everyday objects. That the labs are actually absolutely amazed by what they found, and the labs, by the way, have no idea that what they're analyzing was taken from a human, was had anything to do with an alien abduction. So they're not catering to the people that are putting it through to get tested. Nothing like that. So yeah, I'll get to that clip in a second. But I mean, these implants are interesting. It's kind of funny, how the New World Order, they want to start putting implants in us, like RFID. And according to some of these experiencers, these implants seem to have some sort of tracking. Does seem to be a part of it, but I mean, you would think if these entities can find people and take them through walls, you don't think tracking would be too hard for them to do. But so what I mean by that is I'm sure there's something more to it than just tracking. So here, let me get to the next clip. I really just condensed it. It's a longer video. You can watch all this stuff on YouTube. I just got the very best parts. It's like 3 minutes, and yeah, this is pretty amazing.
Dr. Roger Lear is a surgeon from Southern California who has been performing operations on patients for over 30 years.
So far, 8 surgeries have been performed, and with the 8 surgeries, we have removed 9 objects. The commonality, of course, is that all the individuals are subjects of the alien abduction phenomena.
In 1996, he performed one of the first surgeries to remove an alien implant from the jaw of an alleged abductee.
The gentleman that we did the surgery on for the procedure to remove an object from the left jaw was in private industry, and he had a history of alien abduction.
Dr. Lear described some of the extraordinary findings discovered during this amazing surgery.
There is no portal of entry. There's no evidence how the object got inside the body. Then when we look at the soft tissues that surround the object, we find there is no inflammatory response. This is impossible, because anything that enters the body should have an inflammatory response. And then thirdly, they are surrounded by a large number of nerve proprioceptors which are not anatomically correct.
Once the outer biological membrane was removed, it revealed a triangular-shaped object. This object was housed in yet another gray membrane. Remarkably, this inner membrane could not be cut, even with a surgical scalpel. The implant was then sent to Los Alamos National Laboratory for metallurgic testing.
We knew that when we got the initial report back from Los Alamos that we didn't have something that was common, because Los Alamos is a world-class laboratory and would not recommend further testing on anything that they didn't feel was strange. So it was the combination of elements that were in these objects that I think inspired them to advise us that more tests should be done.
The implants were then sent to New Mexico Tech Laboratory, where a battery of metallurgic tests were performed on the objects.
The theory that they put forth was that these were portions of meteorites. They did not know they were removed from the human body.
Amazingly, the New Mexico Tech Lab report revealed that the elements in the implants were composed of meteorites so rare, only a few had ever been found. At this point, scanning electron microscope analysis was conducted on the implants. The results revealed the implants were manufactured and not naturally occurring meteorites. Amazingly, results showed the implants had been connected to the patient's nerve endings.
The second set of tests following some of the tests that were run at New Mexico was run by the University of California at San Diego.
The laboratory results from the University of California at San Diego confirmed the early...
I haven't really heard a really good explanation for it. To just totally discount it. I mean, I think there is something to it.
I remember being taken into the... They were doing something down to my legs. I could feel them poking and prodding around my legs.
According to Jesse, his abductors inserted a small item
through your body. Alright, so the next clip I'm going to go into is a pretty big topic. This is that same person you heard earlier, Jesse, discussing the actual experience, and then when he receives a alien implant. Okay, and this subject is fascinating to me. I've researched it pretty deeply, and
Craft, taken into one room. I was placed on a very cold, flat table. My brother was separated and he was taken into another room.